Before beginning this unit, we will review several concepts: exponents, absolute values, operations on positive and negative numbers, evaluating expressions, and understanding a number of different math words. Let's begin with exponents. 3 with a small 2 above means 3 times 3. 3 appears twice multiplied by itself to equal 9. Similarly, 2 with a small 3 above it means 2 times 2 times 2, or 8. It is very important to notice when squaring a negative number whether it is inside parentheses. Negative 3 inside parentheses squared means negative 3 times negative 3, or positive 9. Negative 3 squared without parentheses means negative 1 times 3 times 3, or negative 9. It is very important to remember this difference. Two vertical lines on either side of a number represent absolute value. The absolute value of a number is the distance of that number from 0 on the number line. It is always positive. The absolute value of negative 3 is the distance of negative 3 from 0 on the number line, which is positive 3. Similarly, the distance of 3 from 0 on the number line is also positive 3. When there is an operation inside the absolute value, do that operation first. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. The absolute value of negative 2 is positive 2. 5 minus 3 is positive 2. The absolute value of positive 2 is positive 2. In the case where there are operations inside the absolute value, do those operations first. In this case, 3 minus 7 is negative 4, so we write the absolute value of negative 4 minus 9. Now find the absolute value of negative 4, which is 4, then subtract 9 for negative 5. Now for positive and negative numbers. The opposite of a positive number is a negative number. The opposite of 5 is negative 5. Negative 5 is the opposite of positive 5. The opposite of a negative number is a positive number. Negative 5 is positive 5. The rules for understanding operations on positive and negative numbers are very important. Please make sure you understand them. Let's start with adding numbers with the same sign, both positive or both negative. In this case, we add the numbers and we keep the sign. If both numbers are positive, the answer will be positive. If both numbers are negative, the answer will be negative. Positive 5 plus positive 3 is positive 8. Negative 5 minus 3 is the same as negative 5 plus negative 3, and the answer is negative 8. When both numbers are positive, the answer is positive. When both numbers are negative, the answer is negative. Now let's add numbers with different signs, one positive, one negative. In this case, we subtract the numbers, but we keep the sign of the bigger number. 5 minus 3 is positive 2 because the larger number is positive. 5 plus negative 3 is also positive 2 because the larger number is positive. Negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2 because the larger number is negative. 3 minus 5 is negative 2 because the larger number is negative. When the signs are different, subtract and keep the sign of the larger number. The rules are different when multiplying or dividing. When multiplying and dividing, when the signs are the same, the answer is positive. A positive 5 times a positive 3 is a positive 15. Negative 5 times negative 3 is also a positive 15. Positive 15 divided by positive 3 is positive. Negative 15 divided by negative 3 is negative. When the signs are different, the answer will be negative. Positive 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. Negative 5 times positive 3 is negative 15. And negative 15 divided by positive 3 is negative 5. Positive 15 divided by negative 3 is negative 5. When multiplying or dividing, same signs will give a positive answer. Different signs will give a negative answer. Now let's practice order of operations. Begin with parentheses or grouping, then exponents, then multiplication and division, then addition and subtraction. Multiplication and division from left to right, addition and subtraction from left to right. When evaluating using order of operations, begin inside any grouping symbols. 5 minus 3 is inside parentheses, so we begin here. 5 minus 3 is 2. Copy everything else, so we get 2 squared plus 2 times negative 6. Then we go to exponents. 2 squared is 4. Copy everything else. Now we go to multiplication and division. 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. Now we go to addition. 4 plus negative 12 is negative 8 for our final answer. It's very important to do these steps in the correct order. Now pause the video and try the next example yourself. Now that you have tried it, check your work. Remember that the absolute value symbols are a grouping symbol. Begin with 7 minus 9 equals negative 2. For 3 times the absolute value of negative 2 minus 2 times negative 3. The absolute value of negative 2 is positive 2, for 3 times positive 2 minus 2 times negative 3. Begin with multiplication on the left. 3 times 2 is positive 6, minus 2 times negative 3. Then go to the next multiplication problem, 2 times negative 3. Copy down 6 minus, then 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Two negatives become a positive, for 6 plus 6 equals 12. Now let's practice some of the vocabulary you will need in this unit. I will demonstrate with this example. In an expression, the terms are the groupings that are separated by plus and minus symbols. Circle the term including the sign in front of it. The terms in this expression are 2x squared, negative 16x, and positive 32. The coefficient of a variable is the number multiplied by it, that is, the number touching it. The coefficient of x squared is 2. When a number and a variable are touching, this is read as multiplication. 2x squared is read as 2 times x times x. The variable is the letter, so in this case the variable is x. The constant is the number that has no variable, or 32. The coefficient of x is negative 16. Negative 16x means negative 16 times x. Before we move on, let's look at some special cases. In this expression, the terms are x and negative 7. X is the same as 1x. So the coefficient of x is the number 1. The constant is negative 7. In this expression, the terms are negative x and 7. Negative x is the same as negative 1 times x. So the coefficient of x is negative 1 and the constant is 7. Now let's practice evaluating an expression given certain values for the variables. In this case, 2m squared plus 4n minus 8 for the values m equals 2 and n equals negative 3. Before replacing the variables with their values, remember to treat them as if they were inside parentheses. Now replace the letters with the numbers for 2 times 2 squared plus 4 times negative 3 minus 8. Now use the order of operations to evaluate the expression. Now pause the video and try to finish evaluating this expression yourself. Now that you have tried it, check your work. There are no operations within parentheses, so begin with exponents. 2 squared is 4. For 2 times 4 plus 4 times negative 3 minus 8. Now proceed to multiplication. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 4 times negative 3 minus 8. We still have multiplication, so we get 8 plus negative 12 minus 8. Now proceed to addition. Begin with 8 plus negative 12 for negative 4 minus 8. Negative 4 minus 8 is negative 12. Our last topic to review are words used to mean various mathematical operations. For addition, use sum. The sum of a number and 3 is written as n plus 3. For subtraction, use difference. The difference of a number and 3 is written n minus 3. For multiplication, use product. The product of 0.4 and a number is written 0.4n, which means 0.4 times n. For division, use quotient. The quotient of a number and 3 is written as n over 3, which means n divided by 3. A number is the same as 3 or a number is equal to 3 is written with the equals sign. N equals 3 means n is the same as 3. Grouping is indicated by phrases like twice the sum of n and 3. This is written 2 parentheses n plus 3 close parentheses. We have reviewed several topics today: exponents, absolute value, positive and negative numbers. Also, we practiced adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers and multiplying and dividing positive and negative numbers. We practiced order of operations. We reviewed vocabulary. We evaluated expressions, and finally recalled even more vocabulary. Please refer often to these notes as you progress through the unit. Thank you.